Hello, welcome to another episode of Play Cool Songs. Today we're going to check out Don't Get Around Much Anymore by Dr. John. I think the original's by Count Basie or Duke Ellington or Benny Goodman or kind of that era of big band swing composer. But the Dr. John version is how I've learnt it and how I play it with my New Orleans style band. So that's what we'll have a look at today. So let's jump in. We're in the key of C7 and we kick off with this vamp. Which is pretty fun just to play on its own, but that's kind of leading into the verse progression. And, it's a pretty standard kind of blues rhythm guitar idea where I'm just suspending the F triad over the C7. So all the action's kind of happening on the D, G, and B strings here, where I'm on 10, 10, 10, 8, 8, 8, and then hammering on that G string from the 8 to the 9, or that minor to major third. I kind of play it with the bass note there as well. It's that kind of idea, so you just find a way that works for you. The progression through the verse is C7 to A7 to D7 to G7, or I like this G11 chord, which is how I hear it in the Dr. John recording. And, theory-wise, we're using the 5-1 cadence or resolution here each time. So that 5-to-1 movement is really helping us get through these four chords. It's pretty standard for that, swing era, big band kind of stuff. And it's just one of those chord progressions that you hear in jazzland. So C7 through to A7, which is the 5 chord of the D, which is the 5 chord of the G, which is the 5 chord of the C7. So it just comes back around on itself beautifully. Right, and that gets you through the A section there. I'll play through that again. Chromatic movement down to the A7. I play a D9 there, and then G11, or it's really F over G, which is essentially an F triad there, and then just such a lovely voicing with putting that G in the bass, and then back to my C7. Cool. Into the B section, we move to the D minor. To a B flat, E minor 7, A minor 7, back to D minor 7, and then we have another 2-5-1 kind of idea here in the minor. We've got the F sharp minor with the flat 5 to B7, E minor, D, G. So I'll just play all that through in context and then we'll break down some of the voicing. Yeah, I don't think I hit that 11 voicing on the end of that. I think I just go to a G and then back to the A section there. So D minor 7 to a B flat, E minor 7 to A minor 7, D minor 7 again. Here we've got the F sharp minor with the flat 5. So essentially I'm taking my F sharp minor 7 and moving the 5th down. So I get this chord here. Which functions in a few different ways, but here it'll be that altered minor 7 chord. So in tab speak I'm on 9, 10, 9, 10. To the B C7, or you can even alter that as well with a sharp 5 if you like, to E minor 7. And then I'll hit a D7 to a G. Okay, all that again. All right, and that's my B section there, and then comes back around on itself. So in my band, I sometimes take a solo depending on what's going on with the horn section and the players who rock up on the day. But yeah, for the most part, I would just comp over that. So I like just kind of playing around with those voicings, particularly that C7 to A7. I like going down there sometimes, and then other times I might start with like a F sharp 9 and take it up to the A7. And then I might play my D9 there. And you know, that voicing is pretty much the same as the F sharp minor with the flat 5, but in this case here, with D in the bass, it functions as a, you know, a D9. Interesting, huh? And then I might play my G11 there, which is essentially a F triad down the bottom, and then just popping my G in the bass up top there, so F over G. Right. So I guess to take this one step further, you know, to break this down for soloing approaches, you know, it's this kind of progression which I think would be really, really useful to kind of map out the fretboard for yourself using arpeggios. So with this, I'd be looking at some useful 7th arpeggios, because that's really how you're going to map out those chord movements tastefully, because one scale isn't really going to work over the top of absolutely everything here, because you want to really outline these different chords as they're moving by without, you know, crunching any dissonant tones over the top. So for example, when that C moves to the A, I now have a C sharp in, you know, the third of that A chord. And so if I'm playing sort of C blues or something over the top of that, then I'm going to get these intervals here, which I might not necessarily want. So moving then to the D. You know, these are all the arpeggios which you can use to outline, you know, these chord movements. And then I've got my G there as well. So, you know, there's plenty of tabs online that you could find for just an arpeggio. And taking that shape all the way through, I mean, these are all dominant 7 chords, so I could go my C, my A, my D, and my G, and then back. Now, if I wanted to then take a different 7th chord shape, I could take maybe the one coming out of that chord, right, and then to my A7, to then my D7, to my G, back to my C, to my A, you know, so that's kind of the master shape, right? And from there I would then play through the progression maybe and just try to land on a 3rd or land on the 5th or land on the 7th. In other words, if I'm giving each of those notes a number, it'd be 1, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so then it'd be like, right, let's just hit the 3rd with each pass. So then it'd be like, gonna play my A7, and now my D7, and my G7. So, you know, if I've got the progression happening in a loop, then I'd be playing those kind of games with myself where I'm just trying to target particular chord tones or play the arpeggio over it. And that's quite a satisfying and meaningful way to, you know, apply some practice to that progression while kind of figuring out the fretboard for yourself. So that's something that I've done quite a lot with those types of songs, you know, and that's pretty standard kind of jazz school practice, I think, as well. With the minor, you can do the same and just kind of figure out your minor 7 arpeggio equivalents there. There's that dominant 7 again. Right, and then there's my, you know, essentially just taking the F sharp minor 7 and just thinking about, well, where do I flatten that? Flatten that 5. And you start practicing that stuff enough and, you know, interesting things start to happen for yourself on the fretboard. You kind of see where leading tones are, and when one chord is sort of finishing, it's only one note away from the beginning of the next chord, and things like that. So it's really, I don't think there are any shortcuts for that stuff. I think it's just about taking a chord progression on a cool song and just breaking it down for yourself using different kind of approaches. So find an arpeggio shape, you know, work that through the chords of the A section at least into the B section. And then you might take a different arpeggio shape and just repeat that, and then a different arpeggio shape, and just moving things around the fretboard. I think is a really worthwhile way to break down that song, you know, for a practice session. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that and you get something out of it. Let me know with any questions or comments that you might have, and I'll see you next time. See ya.